Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Brian here. I wanted to make this video on some things that I would try doing if I was the governor of this great state of Pennsylvania. Yeah, these are basically some things that I would. Of course, the governor has very little authority, but I would try to get the state house to pass these things and use my authority as governor to try to get these things passed and signed into law and stuff to better the state of Pennsylvania. So, all right, let's get into it. Number one. And I would ask the state house and state senate to pass a national let's rebuild our roads and bridges. The potholes in this state are terrible. This is not a stereotype. Pennsylvania, if you live in Pennsylvania, or you've ever lived, or if you live in Pennsylvania, or you've ever lived in Pennsylvania, you've ever traveled through Pennsylvania, visited here, you can attest for it. The potholes here are terrible. They're everywhere. We need to not patch them. We need to pave the roads. Oh yeah, and stop just ripping the buzzer apart. We need to just pave the roads and get that done because too many people. You should not be having to get in accidents over freaking potholes or damaging your car over a pothole. Number two, I would introduce universal basic income, like what the state of Alaska has. So initially, I would raise taxes on the top 3% and earning Pennsylvanians, so people making like millions and millions of dollars a year, the top three earning percent, would pay just a tad bit more in taxes, and then that would give money to, oh, my plan would be to all retired folks, all people with proven disabilities, and all old working taxpayers, or it would give them about $500 a month in the state of Pennsylvania to help them out. That's what I would initially do. On to, it would be a great idea. I know it sounds crazy, but it would be a good idea. Watch Andrew Yang's videos. It can go more deep into how the thing works. Or, number three, I would raise the minimum wage. It's sad that we're one of the few states that still has a $7.25 minimum wage. I think that the minimum wage should be raised to $20 an hour immediately, and then raise another dollar a year across 5 years, and then ultimately decide if it should continue to be raising. I mean, it's not fair. We should really, no matter what your job is, as long as you're working, whether you're working full time, part time, you're an electrician, you're a grocery store worker, whatever, you should be able to pay the bills as long as you're working. Number four, legalize marijuana. You know, I would just legalize it. 100 for the difference is I would legalize for 18 years old. All adults, I'd legalize it, and anyone who has been convicted of marijuana crimes that were not violent and did not involve a child or did not involve them out getting behind the wheel of a car or something, and those three things they'd stay in prison, but it did not involve that, I'd pardon them 110%. And also, I would start trying to end the war on drugs in Pennsylvania. There's certain drugs I know I could legalize mushroom, and certain drugs I could legalize, which I would legalize them too if I could in the state of Pennsylvania if I was governor. Not all. There are some that are federally illegal, so that would be a difficult thing. But yeah, that's what I would do. I would start with marijuana as the way to start ending the war on drugs. All right. Number five, if I'd legalize prostitution. I know that sounds crazy, but prostitution, gigoloing, all that, I would legalize it. And anyone that was not involved in a violent crime, I'd pardon them too. If you're 18 years older, you can do whatever you want. Just think, if we legalize it, it would end all the violent stuff. It would, because you could get actual like imagine if we had prostitute companies or gigolo companies, and they got actual like they got healthcare benefits, they got a pension, they got good money, they got part of their salary. I mean, just amazing. I mean, you could do that. So yeah, it would end all the violent crimes. So I would move forward and just legalize that 100% for adults to work in it and to also do it if they'd like to. Oh, I'd ban anime. Now I know this sounds like a crazy thing. Oh, you know better than DeSantis and then want to ban TikTok. Listen, I don't want to ban anime federally. This is just in my state of Pennsylvania. I'd ban anime. I think states can do it. I would encourage the state house and state senate to pass a bill that would initially ban it, meaning no more anime products being sold here, no more anime being watched here. I know it sounds crazy, but initially, maybe not totally ban it. Maybe just raise the age to like 25 or something to watch or something. But definitely we need a reform because there's too many people getting addicted to this, and it's corrupting too many minds. And yeah, I would as governor, your job is to protect your state, and I would protect the state of Pennsylvania by maybe just banning buying T-shirts up and stuff, and maybe like putting watch them on or something. I know that sounds crazy, but at the end of the day, it's really not. Governors are to protect the citizens, so we should be there to protect our citizens, and allowing this anime thing to go crazy like it's been and how it's getting worse is not protecting your citizens whatsoever. Or I would say I would do some things to reform public education. One, I would pay our teachers more. Our teachers they work really hard. They deserve to make more money. They should they go to college for 4 years. They deserve to make more money. So that's one way I would reform public education in this state by raising teachers and school workers like teachers, principals, custodians, instructional assistants, lunch ladies, receptionists, counselors, therapists, everybody, school police. I'd raise all their pay because they all deserve it. Another thing I would do is I would try to ban teachers unions in the state of Pennsylvania because teachers unions have corrupted the public school system. That's another thing I would do for public education. And I would try to better our public schools by getting newer buildings and more equipment and stuff to better them. I would pass laws that they can only use so much technology in school. I'd try to throw it back to the local community as much as I possibly could, but I would make sure parents and guardians have the most control over education at the end of the day, because at the end of the day, they're the ones that know, the parent or the guardian knows what's best for their child, and which for they know what's good for the education. I would also implement school choice. It's just it's a better thing, just to give the parents the option, parents and guardians the option, and decide where they go. And another thing I want to talk about with the raising teachers' pay is teachers will be getting better benefits and raising their pay, but higher standards. You're not gonna you get fired in a heartbeat. But as long as you're doing your job, you're not gonna get fired. So that's some things I would do to save public education. But I would try to save public education in the state of Pennsylvania, education in general. And finally, I would reform the tax code in the state of Pennsylvania. So what I would do is I would initially a make I would raise taxes on the top 3%. I'd leave their taxes the same and raise their taxes just 3 to 4%, so we could fund our universal income thing. I would be talking like the top earning people; they could afford it. So I'd raise their taxes a little bit, and then the other 97%, I would eliminate their taxes. And when I say eliminate, not totally, you'd still be paying taxes, but I would move it to a sales tax, a statewide sales tax instead of a what do you call it? Instead of income, I would eliminate it to a sales tax. So meaning, let's say you are rich. Let's say you got $1 million in the bank. I mean, most people don't in this than the Biden-Harris economy, but let's say you do. I would let you. Yeah. If you have $1 million, how you would be taxed? Is how you live. So, for example, if let's say you have $1 million and you choose to buy the $550,000 house, also where the $550,000 house. Also, you choose to live in an area that has the best school district around. So it's an expensive area. You have 3, 4 cars. You have 3 of them cars are brand new. One's newer. It's just a little bit used. You have all the most expensive furniture. You go shopping all the time. You shop at the most expensive stores like Grocery Outlet and Wegmans and stuff. You shop at the most expensive stores and you just spend all the money. You'd be paying higher taxes because you'd be being taxed like someone that lives like that. But then let's say you got $1 million, which, like I said, doubtful in the Biden-Harris economy. But let's say you've got $1 million in the bank and you choose to live in a small beat-up camper or used camper. You drive a beat-up station wagon from the 80s. You still do choose to work. You shop at the cheapest places like Costco and Dollar Tree and maybe Dollar General. You don't buy a ton of stuff. You're pretty cheap with stuff. You'd be paying lower taxes because you're living like someone that's like that. You're living like a taxpayer. So initially, how you live, and how much you buy and stuff is how you would be taxed. So these are some ideas I have of how to kind of fix the state of Pennsylvania, try to make it a better state. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. All right. Thank you guys for watching this video, everybody. Guys, girls, owls, everybody else. Thank everyone for watching this video. Please like this video. Please leave a comment on this video. Please share this video, and please subscribe to the channel. Thanks, everybody.